Beddington Park, 144 acres of metropolitan open land situated in the London Borough of Sutton. Visited by over 600,000 people each year, Beddington Park offers a diverse mix of landscapes and habitat, attracting visitors from near and far, with woodland, open grass, formal gardens, wetlands, and wild meadow. Beddington Park supports a rich array of wildlife. Through its heart runs the River Wandle, which passes through a small lake, once a mill pond. The park has a rich history, having once formed part of a much larger deer park created in the 14th century by a wealthy family, the Carews. Perhaps the most eminent and well-known of the Carews was Sir Nicholas Carew, who sat in King Henry VIII's most inner circle of friends, holding prominent roles as Master of the Horse and Knight of the Garter, until his fall from grace and subsequent execution at Tower Hill in 1539. Many significant figures visited and perhaps hunted in the park, including Henry VIII, Queen Elizabeth I and Robert Dudley. Legend even points to the head of Sir Walter Raleigh, who married Bess Throckmorton, daughter of Anne Carew, being buried in the grounds of St Mary's Church in the park. Much of the landscape today speaks of its time as a private Victorian park, under the ownership of Canon Alexander Henry Bridges, who saved the park from becoming a housing development. Avenues of trees, historic bridges and a central pond can all be linked to the Canon, who was at one time rector of Beddington. Over in the Grange Garden, a very different history exists. Never part of the deer park, this piece of wetland was transformed into an elaborate garden by Alfred Smee, surgeon to the Bank of England. He created a finely detailed account of his work in his book My Garden, published in 1872. In June 2016, Sutton Council secured £3 million of funding from Heritage Lottery and Big Lottery funds in order to improve, restore and interpret the rich heritage of Beddington Park. But what makes this park a great community asset is its people. From dog walkers and families to footballers and runners. From those who enjoy a walk through the park to those who like to sit and contemplate.
When I was a teenager, I used to come here and row in the lake. I think I learnt to row here. I lived in Norbury, which is about 4 miles away. And I came on my bikes with my girlfriend. We took a picnic, we played tennis, we did putting, and it was our day out in the school holidays.
Well, I've got bits of information as when they started this. I mean, it was well over a year ago. The timescale's gone a bit potty, but I do like the result. I like the new orchard, and it's nice to have the water all dredged. And it should be good when it's finished and when all the flowers and shrubs regrow.
So I've been bringing my children here since 1970. And we now watch my great-granddaughter play football. Yeah, it's a lovely park.
Favourite thing about it, it's Well, it's quite large, so there's plenty of things to do. You've got the football, you've got the play area, the cafe, and there's different parts to it. So you've got like nice bits, bit of woods, bit of lake and a stream and that sort of thing. It's nice.
My favourite thing?
Yeah, your favourite thing.
Walking the dog. I mean, he loves it more than I do, but it's lovely. It's got water, it's now got a decent park, plenty of space. It's as favourite, it's dog walking for me. That's the reason I come here.
And perhaps most important of all are those who volunteer their time to make the park something even better.
Responded to a application from someone asking if we come at local residents to pick up some rubbish because there's so much of it around in the park. So we just responded, got up early and come over.
My name's Alan Carroll. I'm a member of Carshalton Park Rotary Club. I'm also chair of Friends of Beddington Park, and I also chair the Heritage Lottery Fund Steering Group. We generally try to look after the park. We've been involved with the Heritage Lottery Fund, and our remit is to improve and enhance the park for all park users. Generally speaking, with the tree planting, it comes from the council, and they provide us with the trees and we simply provide them with the labour. Today we've planted probably over 80 trees, which has been quite successful, and we've done a number of tree planting exercises previously. So we are obviously led by the council and their experts in terms of where the trees should be, because quite clearly when they start to establish themselves, you're going to have a little bit of a wood there, and they need to be in proper locations that can be properly maintained in the future. The main lake in Beddington Park was extremely silted. Over many, many years it's actually built up with a very thick and contaminated silt at the bottom. We have spent a lot of money to actually de-silt the lake, and the stuff that's been taken out has been stored in drying pits near the London Road and will then be used in landscaping other parts of the park. And it will then be the lake then will be considerably better and cleaner.
So I'm Elizabeth and I'm one of the tree wardens here in Beddington Park. The tree wardens have a range of activities, and at the moment of course we're very involved in planting of trees because that's part of the HLF bid, and we're doing that in groups of just tree wardens, but we've also been supporting schools and community groups, which I think is one of the really exciting parts of the project. I love trees. They are beautiful things, and we have so many local artists. Just look at the local paintings and you can see how they've been treasured over the years. Great history to the park, so there are some really interesting specimen trees here to look at. And part of the tree planting, of course, and bringing in the new trees is the sense of ownership. I love the fact that maybe my grandchildren will come down with their children and say, oh, great granny planted that tree.
We spoke to Bill Wyatt, the Heritage Lottery Fund project manager, about some of the changes going on.
The lake, obviously, the dredging of that, the replacement of the revetments, the creation of new islands, the dredging of the stock pond, the playground, which is a massive part of the project and has cost a fair bit of the money out of it, the churchyard extension, which has had a lot of work put in there, to new paths, benches, planting. A lot of tree planting around the whole park. I mean, if you look around the park, you'll see that if you add all the small trees and the whips and the big trees we planted, it comes to over 3,500 trees we planted in the park just this year as part of the project. It also included things like signage, directional signage, information boards, finger posts, some boards that you'll see around that sort of actually show you where you are on a map of the park, which was something that was always missing in this park, so people can get a sense of where they are. It's quite a complicated park for people when they come into it for the first time. It's not a park that feels laid out like a country park, or anything like that. It's quite sprawling. It's got the river that runs through it, so it can be a difficult thing to navigate. So those have really helped. And then lots of smaller things.
Today, the park is gradually coming back to life following extensive work and disruption. As it grows, the work becomes just a small part of its history, and a big part of its future as an important space for the public to enjoy the outdoors, improve their health and well-being, learn about the environment, explore and connect with nature. This is Beddington Park.